We have some good news to report. The state of education in Louisiana remains strong. We're going to report today our school performance scores, our district performance scores, and our graduation cohort rates. And you'll see in all three cases, school performance scores have risen in Louisiana, district performance scores have also risen, and graduation cohort rates have as well. We're very, very proud of our education community for making these gains happen. We cannot take any credit at the Department of Education. It's the superintendents and principals and teachers and kids in classrooms all over the state of Louisiana who make it happen every day. And we're here to celebrate that. And you're going to hear a little bit more after I give the opening remarks here from a handful of superintendents from around the state who are some of the leading superintendents, and their districts are leading superintendents and districts from around our state. So I want to start by talking about our accountability system. Most of you recognize, but in case you don't, we have a school performance score that is largely based on academic achievement, and what we're reporting today is the roll-up of academic achievement of individual students as it impacts schools, and the roll-up of individual academic achievement as it affects districts. The bottom line number on the state's performance score, when you roll up all of those kids' academic achievement, you roll up all of those schools and districts into one state score, Louisiana increased academic achievement by 3.1 points. This is a very strong gain this year. Now, we have a target that we set each year, and that target in this case was 5.7. We did not make the target. So the news is good, strong gains in academic achievement, but we still have work to do.
We're making an announcement of academic achievement in the state of Louisiana. We see some strong gains in academic achievement. We see schools doing much better, districts around the state doing much better, and our graduation rate also increased.
In what areas did you see the improvement?
Well, we saw it in the academic achievement pretty much across the board. English language arts, math, science, and social studies, which are the areas that we measure. We only saw a decline in English language arts in the fourth grade that was of any significance, but these data are all rolled up into what we call a school performance score. And so today we looked at the school scores that are given where each school gets a grade, and that's what we were talking about today, and each district gets a grade.
Did any particular district stand out?
Yeah, we had a number of districts. First of all, Zachary School District is the highest performing school district in the state of Louisiana. It's on the verge of becoming a 4-star school district. There are no 4-star school districts in the state, and Zachary is just short of being the first 4-star school district. You know, we saw a small community like Richland Parish in North Louisiana. We were talking about their progress today. They've made one of the largest gains in academic achievement. You know, they're not a high-performing district like Zachary, but they've made a tremendous improvement. We also saw that with the Recovery School District. It made the highest improvement of any of the districts in the state of Louisiana. You know, we saw Jeff Davis Parish down in South Louisiana increasing their graduation rate by a significant number of students. That means fewer students are dropping out. More students are ready to go to college or career. We saw schools from Lincoln Parish up in Ruston, similar kinds of things where they're really showing some high increases in academic achievement. A lot of different places around the state. It's really good news.
Are there any common threads to the school districts that are showing improvements in their school performance scores?
Yeah, you know, there are a lot of important factors. Probably the most important factor is the quality of teachers. If a teacher is very effective, kids will be successful. It doesn't matter whether the kids come from broken homes or the kids go to low achieving schools. If you have a high quality teacher in there, kids can be successful. That's the number one factor. The other one that we heard from district superintendents today quite a bit was something called data-driven instruction. We heard them talk about our EAGLE program. And the EAGLE program is an online test bank where teachers can go online and pull test questions, sample test questions, that they can use to measure progress of students. That's why we call it data-driven instruction. And when they measure the progress of students, they can change their instruction during the course of a school week or a school month. They can go online and get these test bank items any time of day or week, on the weekend, and they can put together mini tests and use those mini tests to administer to students in the first month of school, in the first 2 months of school, and see how kids are doing and whether they're online to be able to be successful in the LEAP test or the iLEAP test. And if they're not online, they can redirect their teaching to those students. This idea of data-driven instruction is changing the way schools work. If I were a parent, what I would be asking the school teacher or the school principal is, are you using a process for data-driven instruction? Are you measuring the success of my child, not just with tests you give out of the back of the book, but with tests that come from the state's data bank items, so we're determining whether my child is going to be successful on the LEAP test or the iLEAP test. That's a question that good parents should be asking their teachers, because every teacher should know the answer to that question, and if they're not doing that, parents should be asking teachers to start using data-driven instruction.
What did the report show in terms of Louisiana's graduation rate?
Our graduation rate was also up. Academic achievement was up. The district's performance was up, but so was our graduation rate. We went up a point. We moved from 66 to 67. That means that 67% of the ninth graders who start ninth grade complete the 12th grade on time. Now, you know, we've been making a very hard push in the last 2 years to improve the graduation rate. The problem with making that number move up very quickly is that you have to wait 4 years to see the fruit of your labor, and we've only really been heavily focused on it in the last 2 years. So I think we're going to see that rise, but it did rise modestly this year. We need for it to rise more quickly than that.
Are you encouraged by everything you've seen here today?
I am. You know, I'm very encouraged. I think we have people who are really working smarter, not just harder. And we heard some of those superintendents who are working smarter. You know, we're seeing good progress. The other side of the equation, though, we still have a very long way to go. Louisiana is still far too behind. Too many students are far too behind, and some of our districts are far too behind. So we need to shine a light on these kids who need better education, better teaching in the classroom, better data-driven instruction, and better district support. We're going to be identifying those schools and school districts as the year comes forward so that we can get the proper attention where it's needed.